welcome back again, spooky cuties. If I sound a little extra hoarse, it's because I recorded a very long video before this. So, it is I, your neighborhood Patricia Hampson, and as you can tell by the title, this is something I've thought about before. Why the heck do Goths hug so much? And this is something I've observed, witnessed, paid attention to, is that, so especially, I know metal does it too. Those are the two subcultures I've been the most involved with. I don't see a lot of the other ones do it as much. So why the fuck are Goths so huggy? Why is it completely normal? You walk into a goth event, you see your friends, people you met fucking once, and you immediately hug. Especially if you know each other. Big hug. Why is that normal? Why is that just a everyday thing in the goth subculture? And this is all my personal experiences, theories, my intrigue. So of course, some goths aren't going to be huggy, especially not with strangers. So I mean, there's of course, we'll wake here in the mouth. There's of course a time and a place. But I want to start off this discussion. So I want you to discuss in the comments with me. I want to start off with a quote. So what's happening on the inside when we receive a hug is a release of oxytocin. That is the feel-good chemical that when it's released, we feel bonded to those around us. So Susan Albers, PsyD psychologist for Cleveland Clinic. So it's saying that when you hug someone, when you embrace another creature, it releases a happy chemical in your little grumpy tombstone noggin, and it makes you feel good, and it makes you feel closer to your friends. So we want to talk about how is it so normal, or at least why is it so normal in my specific community? So the one that I think is one of the most applicable is that, of course, you see someone else who looks like me. You see another person, weirdo, heavy makeup. They heavily tattooed. They've been in this game for a while. Or even like some of the teenagers. You see someone and they look like you. And unless you were homeschooled and you got to avoid it, you probably dealt with, even as an adult you do, some assholes. There's a good chance, if you're weird, you've probably dealt with a douchebag who maybe bullied you, traumatized you, whether it's family, hopefully not your friends, peers at school, whatever. You've probably dealt with some trauma. And you can look at someone else who's probably gone through a shit ton of the same stuff and immediately feel that connection. Like before you even get to the hug part, it's a bond. It's someone else who has probably dealt with some bullshit. And even for me, living in a small, like, Canadian city, for the most part, I haven't dealt with that much around here. And usually the older people are quite nice to me. But even so, I've still dealt with some horrible things. Not like life-ruining so far, but still not good. And that's something I find interesting. Like, I can look at someone else and go, you've had someone yell freak at you. You've probably had someone make a suicide joke at you. You could have had horrible things done to you in high school. And you can look at them and feel their pain and empathize just on sight. And that's both very depressing, but also very comforting. You look at them and you're like, fuck, you've probably dealt with the same shit I have. Get in here, you need a hug. And I think that's beautiful in a sad way. But just being able to understand just on sight how that person feels and being able to relate, amazing. So I think that's one reason why Goths tend to be huggier. Next one, which goes along with it, is empathy and compassion. Because most Goths, in general, you find that Goth is a very intelligent, intellectually based subculture, and a lot of us are emotionally intelligent. And in that same vein, like as before, you feel empathy, you feel compassion, you understand. You see them and you know, you've probably dealt with the bullshit I have. I care about you. I know how much this hug will help me, so I'm going to help you out with one too. And it's that sort of emotional intelligence that allows you to just see someone and have that comfort, that bond, that connection. Okay? Hopefully I am enunciating properly, as I have a tendency of not doing that. So we may be interested in death. As I said in my other one, you don't have to obsess over death, but we all have an interest in it, in the morbid, that morbid curiosity. My taxidermy collection, seeing like, you know, death documentaries, bones. This is one of my favorite things to do. But we may have that morbid curiosity, but especially when you're an adult, there's a good chance by now, and even like when I was young, most of us have lost a friend, or fear losing a friend, or both. And I know for me personally, losing a close friend that I loved dearly, and not telling him how important he was to me as often as I should have, is one of my biggest regrets. And I have plenty of other friends, like, they've left my life before. I've lost friends, I've gained friends. But the one thing that I regret is always the friends I didn't tell enough how much they meant to me, how important they were. And one thing that I've found with Goths, especially as we get older, especially with the ties to LGBTQIA+, and kink, and weirdos, and just other groups that receive a lot of hate and discrimination and hate crimes, and there's just so much bullshit. And just being ourselves is also part of it. That losing a friend is a very real and terrifying prospect. And so I think for a lot of us, being extra huggy is just it's a comfort. It's showing your friend, while you still can, how much they mean to you. It's saying, hey, I love you, I am here, seeing you is an amazing part of my day, thank you for being here, I want to hug you. And I think that's beautiful. Like, of course, depressing as fuck. And I know losing my friend, especially with how young I was, and especially now that I've outlived him, it's fucking weird. But through that, I learned I need to tell my friends, even if me saying I love them, yelling it from down the street, even if they're like, oh dear God, Patricia, I at least know, they know I love them. Anything happens to me, them, they knew. I'm set. I feel better. That's a little fucked up to think about, but tell people you love them. Tell your friends you love them. Give them a big old fucking hug. If you're close enough, give them a big old smooch. A lot of my female friends, they can rub their face all up in my titties. I don't care. I love you, and I want you to know it. You're important to me. I know it's weird. I know, especially for some people, showing emotions, especially those raised in a toxic masculinity sort of outlook, it's fucking weird to, like, talk all about your emotions, but trust me, it's fucking important. Talk about your feelings. Hug your friends. Tell them you love them. And then, of course, the next one, you're at the goth club. You're dancing. Your friend comes in, and they see you. It's loud, it's dark, it's smoky. Instead of trying to yell a greeting, you go tap tap, ah, and big hugs, and everyone's happy. You're going, yeah, it's so great to see you. It's so much easier to just go in for a hug. as long as like it's someone that you know and they're not uncomfortable with that, it's the best. It's the easiest greeting. Even we're outside smoking, like, buddy! Bathroom, run in there, buddy! It's an easy greeting, especially in a loud, music-based scenario. It's easy to just go in for a hug while you're in there, like, how are you? I'm good. You look awesome. I like your tits. It's the easiest way to greet your friends. Especially when it's loud. Especially when it's very hard to communicate anything else. You can give them a hug. And to end this one, because again, I've noticed it also depends on how close you are to the community. My limited experiences with some of the other subcultures, the one that I found the most curious was emo. They're very normal, and that makes me uncomfortable. Everything that Goth already had against emo that's been kind of going away. Why are emos so normal? It scares me. They're so normal. And from my limited experience, they're not as huggy, and it weirds me out. Be huggy. But even, of course, depending, metal has a lot of toxic masculinity. Although, this could just also be a female who's at least passably attractive, depending on who you are. Of course, it could just be that privilege, but when it comes to metal, I've always gotten a lot of hugs and made friends easily. But that, at least I have that disclaimer. I'm aware that could be part of it. So I don't see metal dudes embrace as much. Not saying I've never seen it, and I do often, but not as much. Goth, it's literally like everyone hugs galore. But on that note, it's a comfort. I've noticed that a lot of goths, it's an immediate fucking comfort. It's telling your friend that you are here, you matter to me, you belong here. Like this is your comfort, this is your safe place to be your weird ass fucking self. You belong here, you're valid, you're safe, you're loved. I think that shit's deep. It's powerful. So hopefully you can go and hug somebody, hug your cat, I don't care, hug someone today. Please. It's good for you. Releases that oxytocin from earlier. And we need some of that. So if you enjoyed my ramble full of hoarseness and wig touching, feel free to like, comment if you have any other theories, or if you think I'm wrong, if you've noticed that your goth community doesn't hug or your emo community does hug, tell me about it. I want to know. Okay? Of course, if you like me, like this video, you can subscribe if you want lots of me. And of course, you can follow my Instagram, my TikTok, my Twitter, and my spicy Twitter. And if you really like me and you want to support my makeup habit and get boobies out of it and just porn, my OnlyFans. It is appreciated. Everything is in the link tree down below. What are you waiting for? Why don't you check your hoe out? Yes, give someone a hug. Have a wonderful day, lovelies.